Start out with, I think we have a very sound financial situation in Cedar Rapids and a very sound economy. It's why Forbes and Kiplinger's and others are talking about it nationwide.
What differs me from some of the issues that are hitting the platter as a priority for candidate Vernon is that I'm a public first candidate in safety. For Prosser's farewell package, a large sum of $165,000. At the same time, Ms. Vernon, you voted for Prosser's pricey severance package, a luxury post-flood CR could ill afford. You voted to accept Prosser's pick for Fire Chief Stephen Reed. Why not allow Pomerantz to have done the hiring and waited, and this could have been simply done by having an interim chief serve until we brought on a new city manager. And in this case, your West Side colleagues that voted against this pick were correct. And you should be listening to them, because this was a 9-month travesty that came to term with a departmental ungraceful exit and a premature shakeup that could have been avoided by going with an interim chief. And instead of ABC, always back Corbett, this is what I would do for you as a city council candidate. AARP, always actively represent people. And whether that's a budgetary decision that not only affected a pricey payout to a former city manager. I just talked to our animal control director today, and we've lost a few positions since the flood of 2008 in animal control, and they have remained unfilled due to budgetary reasons. I want to put that as a priority, the pricey severance packages.
My name is Cedar. You really do need to learn about what all of us are about. Now, what I feel that I bring to the table is someone who's actually going to listen to District 2. What I feel is that the attention has been focused on parts of the city that are not a part of District 2, and a lot of focus has gone downtown. I'm not very sure which one we're following right now because, well, they're all focused on downtown and none of them are focused on District 2 and really at the city at large. Maybe one plan has some parts about time check in it, and that's nice, and about the medical district, but where's our plan?
Well, you know, there's 9 members on council, and we work for a big city here, and we work together. And we do have a plan for the whole city. We have a master streets plan, and we are following that.
At the council level, for what we lost. And if you've been watching carefully, what have been the priorities for post-flood recovery? Why is the ground transportation center not operational right now, 3 years after the flood? And they could have gotten going on it right away during this incumbent's term. Why have we not instituted bus connecting service with North Liberty, Coralville, Iowa City, and developed a network in the corridor? Is it because we've gotten away from respecting the talent that we always have on board, and we're trying to save money and it winds up costing us money? We're an after-prison market community. We have a lot of people dependent on our city bus. I guarantee that they will see leadership in areas for getting around, because I have come across them in this district, sitting at home in the apartments and not having a job to go to. And in this post-flood economy, I realize times are tough, but we need to get a better transportation system set up for these people where it was.
I echo some of the concerns that Mr. Larson brought forward, but I also want to talk about the budget with Cedar Rapids and how many pages this budget is. In fact, I went down to the city, tried to get a copy of this budget, and they would not make a copy for me because they said it was too expensive to print off. So I have kind of an example of how big the budget is. That's about the size of our budget. It's actually larger than Chicago's. It's quite interesting that the city of Cedar Rapids manages to have a budget that's around 625 pages, and the city of Chicago is able to have a budget around 449, and yet our property taxes still do go up.
Well, a couple of interesting things have just been brought up. I think that one of the things I really stand for is safe neighborhoods, working with neighborhoods, and proactively working on crime. I really believe in the broken window theory, that you get in there on little things and you work from there. I know that we work together arm in arm with our police officers after the flood. You know, we're coming back from a disastrous flood and an economic downturn as well, a worldwide economic downturn. So when you serve on the council during those kinds of disasters, you face lots and lots of tough decisions, and you aren't able to do everything at once. But I feel good about where we are today. Now, we're a community of 130,000, just about 130,000. And, you know, if it takes 600 pages to do our budget, I think we ought to do it. I think we ought to take the pages that it takes to do that. Our operating budget is about $100 million a year. And we have held the line on property taxes. Sometimes what people don't realize is that there are 5 elements that go into your property tax bill. One is the school district, one is the county, one is the city. Those are the 3 biggest parts of that pie. The city held the line on property taxes. We held the line. Now, 2 other things impact that. One is the state law on equalization. So what state law says is that every couple of years we've got to reassess the value of the property. We would be in violation of state law if that didn't occur locally here. The other thing is the rollback, and the legislature's in charge of that. And the rollback actually went up this past year, so that affected residential taxes. So I think sometimes if you don't know all the details about it, you know, you can be very quick to jump to conclusions. But Moody's and many others are here to say, and I'm here to say as well, our budget's in good shape.
Thank you, Paul.
Pinpoint policing is something I bring to the table this council season. And what pinpoint policing is it's a paid individual. Think of it as a mobile dispatch member. Think of it as police reserves. Think of it as an armed security guard in the neighborhood where crime happens. I've been in this community long enough now, I'm in my 27th year, to realize, looking over the history of our neighborhoods, that crime, including the worst of crimes, murder, repeats itself in certain areas of the city. Now, what we did back in the late 80s, I happened to see a guy on Mount Vernon Road southeast writhing in pain with a broken ankle in a motorcycle accident 2 blocks from the fire station. I called up administrative staff. I said, why can't they provide first aid? This was in the late 80s under the auspices of Bob Jager's safety commissioner term. That was the start of our fire department responding to emergencies, not just in the streets, but medical emergencies in the stores, wherever they happen to be. We didn't have that before then. Pinpoint policing, by mobilizing our force and having them outside at the scene before crime occurs, not only as a preventative tool, but in your various public safety departments, it is a connector that allows someone to be connected to police and fire when they're both called on the scene and at different timings, so they get it right, because I've witnessed when they've got it wrong.
I think we need to look at this budget and we need to make it more transparent for the people. You know, they say that we can go online and we can just manage the workouts and work through the website and just read it ourselves, when going through around 625, 650 pages is quite a daunting task. I've tried. When you try to look at specific spending measures in there, a lot of the numbers don't add up. That's why when you say that we've been audited by an outside firm, I'd like the state of Iowa to come in and audit us so we can really, truly have transparency in our government. And after I feel that we have a full audit of all funds coming in, all funds going out, so we can see if any other funds in the city have been tapped for any other reasons, and why we're giving money to these organizations, and figure out how much we really have and where the money's been coming from, I think that we can really have a sound financial future. But we have to address that concern first.
Well, Taylor, you know, this will be my fourth budget session that I'll go through, and we spend a lot of time with the budget. We read through it. I think I last time read through it 5 times before I approved it. And so not exactly what you always want to do on your Sunday afternoons, but you have to do that as a city council member. And, you know, I would just extend this invitation to you. I would be happy to meet with you anytime and go over all 600 pages of the budget. That's, you know, kind of what it takes to be able to be on city council. And we're talking about experience here a little bit, and so let me just use my time to talk about my experience. I'm 53 years old, and I have a BA and an MBA from the University of Iowa, as Lyle had said, and I spent 25 years in boards and commissions before I ran for city council. I really don't think it's an entry-level job. I think it's the kind of thing that you learn by doing out in the community. So between arts organizations and social services, human services, I also was the chair of the Cedar Rapids City Planning Commission and served on that commission for 10 years. I served on Metropolitan Planning Commission. I served on state boards and commissions. I served on private boards and commissions. And you look at budgets, and you are responsible for budgets. And you learn to read them. You learn the intricacies of them. And beyond budgets, you learn by talking to people what's best for communities. You learn how to get out and mingle with people. You learn who needs an email back and phone calls back and how to run a community meeting. So that's what I'm bringing to the table is 25 years of public service followed by 4 years of in the trenches after the flood, economic development, developing, and really it's continuity I think we need and experience.
Happy birthday early, Monica. Just wanted to make the point clear that when this election comes to pass, 2 1957 models are taking on a 19-year-old.